Welcome back, Nerglings. Today we are returning to Warhammer Fantasy Battle, this time with a focus on the magic system. But before we start, be sure to like, share and subscribe so you don't miss an update. If you fancy switching on notifications too, that would be spiffing. Magic. Wizards and magic are important elements of fantasy books and films, and are no less important in a fantasy battle game. Wizards have the ability to cast spells, terrible destructive spells, cunning spells, and spells which weave confusion or terror within their enemies' breasts. Wizards can offer protection to a hero or to a unit of troops, may seek to overthrow heroes by means of conjuration. Some wizards are able to control the forces of nature herself. Others are allies to the masters of death. Some have unholy pacts with demons, and there are those who are masters of illusion and deceit. The vast majority of magic is rare and difficult, involving endless ritual, complex symbolism, and inordinate amounts of time. Magic of this kind does not belong on the battlefield, where time and conditions are not conducive to effective conjuration. On the battlefield, a wizard may only employ those spells of a relatively simple kind, or spells which may be prepared beforehand. These are called battle spells, and these rules deal with only this kind of magic. We shall not worry too much about exactly how individual spells are prepared before the battle, but shall simply assume that a wizard has the necessary skills and equipment needed. Once the battle starts, a spell can be put into effect by a simple gesture or key word. For more information about how spells are prepared, what ingredients are necessary, and how long the process takes, see Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. Some wizards are more experienced, powerful, or talented than others. To reflect this disparity, wizards are placed within one of 4 magic levels. The lowest level is 1 and the highest is 4. These levels do not correspond to any title as such, although wizards may assume a title or may be awarded a title of some kind, such as Mage or Magus. A wizard's power level represents how much magical energy he has, and will vary according to how vigorous the individual is. Power levels are related to magic levels to some extent, and the chart shows this. Players may either assume that their wizard has this typical level, or they may elect to opt for the random roll indicated. Once a wizard's power level has been established, it is fixed and cannot be changed within the normal course of a game. Magic points are units of magical energy. A wizard with a power level of 10 has 10 magic points at the start of the game. A level 20 will have 20, and so on. Magic points are expended as spells are cast, each spell costing 1 or more points depending on how difficult or powerful it is, as given in the spell description. A wizard's total of magic points will therefore drop during the game, although his power level never changes. The power level is simply the maximum number of magic points the wizard may have. Wizards are character models who use magic. Like other character models, wizards have characteristic bonuses on their profile. However, wizards gain abilities and power by study, experimentation, and dark pacts. Factors which enable them to increase characteristics such as intelligence and willpower, but not others, such as attacks. As with character models, there are 5 different levels: 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25. The first 2 corresponding to level 1 wizards, and the others corresponding to the higher levels. A Warhammer Armies gives points values for all the troop types in the army, including wizards of each level. In competition games, the lists restrict the number of wizards an army can have. The points value of a wizard is worked out in exactly the same way as for any other character, as explained in the previous video. However, the wizard must also pay for their magical powers with the following points: plus 30 for level 1, plus 75 for level 2, plus 135 for level 3, and plus 210 for level 4. Just as wizards are divided into magic levels, spells are divided into 4 levels of difficulty. Level 1 spells are the easiest and level 4 the hardest. A wizard of magic level 1 may only use level 1 spells, whereas a level 4 wizard may use any of the spells, as you might expect. There are 5 broad categories of battle spells: battle magic, illusionist, demonic, elemental, and necromantic. Any wizard may employ battle magic spells, and some wizards may substitute one or more of their battle magic spells with other types of magic. Some races may hold more of one type of spell than others, and some are obliged to have a minimum number of special spells. Any restrictions are explained in the bestiary. Prior to each battle, players may select for each of their wizards 3 spells from each level. However, as a wizard may only employ spells from a level equivalent to his magic level or lower, this will restrict the total number of spells available. A list must be made of the spells before the game and presented to the GM before players reveal their forces. For non-competition games without a GM, players may simply list their spells before the battle. This spell list is not then revealed during the battle, but is given to the other player for his inspection after the game is over. A wizard may cast 1 spell during the magic phase of the turn. The player first selects the spell he wishes to use and checks the number of magic points the wizard has remaining. If the wizard has 12 or more points, the spell is automatically cast. If the wizard has less than 12 magic points, the player must test to see if the spell is cast successfully. This is done by rolling 2d6 and checking the score against the number of magic points the wizard has left. Rolling under the total results in the spell being cast, whilst rolling over the total results in failure. Whether the spell is cast or not, the wizard must deduct the cost of the spell from his magic points regardless. To further complicate this system, we also have our intelligence value. A wizard will always cast a spell providing he rolls less than his intelligence value. Now, some spells affect whole units, others may affect single models. The spell lists specify this, so there is little need to go into it here. Notably, routing wizards may not cast spells, nor if he has suffered wounds in that turn's combat phase. Wizards are also restricted if they associate with units, being bound by the same rules as for characters associated with units. In addition, he may be restricted by what he can see if placed amongst the rank and file. If engaged in combat, the wizard will be placed in a non-fighting rank, and casualties caused by magic notably count towards close combat results, which is handy. Magic affects different creatures in different ways, enabling some to shrug off a magical spell that would take effect against others. This magical resistance is represented by the magic save. Magic saving throws are made against a character's willpower characteristic by rolling 2d6. It is also worth considering a wizard may enhance his own magic saving throw by using magic points if under assault by an enemy magician. This is done so before the saving throw is made. In addition, a wizard may similarly reduce an enemy's magic saving throw by using magic points in a similar fashion. Finally, undead, ethereal beings, demons, and elementals are all vulnerable to magic as they are inherently magical. They cannot avoid the effects of magic and thus have no magical saving throw. The only matter being some of these creatures are also wizards in their own right. As such, they may use magic points to grant themselves a saving throw as necessary. A wizard may recover magic points by resting. A resting wizard may not move, shoot, or fight, and may not use any magic. A resting wizard lapses into a trance-like state in which he is completely impervious to events around him. After a complete turn spent in this way, a wizard may recover 1 magic point. I would point out that if you've been savvy with your use of magic throughout your games, you shouldn't really be needing to have your wizards standing motionless on the battlefield, desperately downing coffee and munching on cake. It might surprise you to find that wizards dislike wearing armour, as it creates a kind of magical disharmony. As such, any wizard with an armour save may not regain magic points by resting. Also, to add insult to injury, all spells are cast at an increased cost equivalent to the level of armour being used. So an armour save of 4+ would increase all spells cast by the wizard by 3 additional points. We could talk about innate magical abilities such as magical sense and awareness, but I don't remember anyone ever using this in battles back in my day. Auras, bound beings, and monstrous hosts may be cast, summoned, controlled before the battle, and the appropriate points deducted from the wizard's magic points score. So too are summoned demons controlled. However, in order for a wizard to maintain control of them, the wizard must test against his willpower. Any summoned demons that start the game out of control of their summoner are controlled by the GM. If we are to take a moment to consider the regal undead, a wizard with 1 or more necromancy spells may act as their controller. An undead hero may act as a controller for the unit he is in. Uncontrolled undead are treated as stupid until they regain a controller or are destroyed. Illusions are created by means of spells and must also be maintained, with only one illusion being able to be controlled at a time. The wizard may cast other spells, however, may still only control one illusion at a time. Illusions are particularly helpful. When employed properly, an entire unit may be summoned and controlled as if real by the player. It will take damage as normal and remove casualties, etc. The GM must be informed of which units are illusions before the game begins. Spell Index. What follows is the Spell Index, basically a list of all the spells we are about to discover. Battle Magic Spells. Now, battle magic can be taken by any wizard and provide some of the most useful little conjurations across all of the laws. At level 1 we have Aura of Resistance to give us an increased armour save, Cause Animosity to really rile up your foes, Cure Light Injury to restore wounds, De-Spirit to lower enemy leadership, Enthuse to increase friendly leadership, Fireball to cause D3 Strength 3 hits and perhaps cause a bit of panic, Flight to fly off 24 inches whilst carrying a halfling. Yes, that is actually mentioned in the rules. Hammer Hand to give the caster a mean swing in close combat. Ignite Missiles, allowing friendly archers to inflict flaming attacks. Immunity from Poison, which does what it says on the tin. Leg Breaking, reducing an enemy's movement by half. And may even render a character hilariously immobile if struck a second time. Steel Mind, to turn a model into a gibbering wreck. Strength of Combat, to increase any one of weapon skill, ballistic skills, strength, toughness, wounds, initiative, or attacks by 1. And Wind Blast, to prevent enemy archers from firing that turn. Moving on to level 2, Aura of Protection, giving +2 saving throw. Cause Frenzy, cause Hatred, cause Panic. Lightning Bolt, causing D3 Strength 4 hits. Mental Duel, to challenge an enemy wizard to a Battle of the Brains. Mystic Mist, to reduce enemy movement. Rally, Raise, to damage buildings. Smash, to blow apart doors and gateways. Stampede, to force enemy cavalry to rout. Steadfast, to render friendly troops immune to psychology. Steal Magical Power, to whisk 2d6 magic points away from an enemy wizard. The beloved Vortex of Chaos that destroys everything it touches and moves across the battlefield 2d6 per turn, although disappears on a 7 or a double. Zone of Sanctuary, to protect from demons, ethereal, elemental and undead creatures. At level 3, Animate Sword, to fight for him. arrow invulnerability to make friendly troops immune to ranged attacks, cause cowardly flight to force a rout, cause fear, cause stupidity, cloak of darkness, rendering the caster and or unit he is with difficult to shoot at with a -2 to hit modifier, corrode to reduce enemy armour saves and ruin weapons, not to mention absolutely destroy chariots, create magical bog, which is a rather fun thing to do, curse of arrow attraction to make enemy archers fire upon themselves, something the GM is to be notified of in advance. Dispel aura, dispel magic to remove aura's illusions and zones. Enfeeble to force enemy troops to the ground under the weight of their own equipment. Magic bridge, very handy. Transfer aura. Vorpal Hurricane of Chaos, creating D6 vortices, much like the Vortex of Chaos. Finally, at level 4, Accelerate Time, Aura of Invulnerability to nullify wounds. Blast, causing D6 Strength 8 hits, the devastating Change Allegiance which lasts the whole game. Confound Mechanism to redirect a war machine. Cure Severe Wound to restore the wounds of a touched creature by 1 for every 10 magic points. Drain Magic to reduce the magical forces upon the battlefield, something that would be brought through to later editions of Magic. Enchant Weapon to increase the to-hit roll and strength of a weapon. Entanglement to halt an enemy unit for a turn. Fetid Cloud, causing 1 strength 5 hit. The Mighty Hurricane, lasting for D6 turns, reducing all movement to half and grounding all flyers, extinguishing all fires whilst all missiles become ineffective. Ravine opens a great chasm in the ground before the wizard. Standstill will cause an enemy unit to stand motionless for the rest of the game unless dispelled. Strength of Mind to fortify one's characteristics. Zone of Magical Immunity, granting protection from psychology, demonic, ethereal, elemental and undead creatures. Demonic Spells. These aren't spells to trifle with. The powers that can be unleashed from the demonic realm are simply mind-boggling indeed. Level 1. Bind Demon. Dispel Lesser Demon. Summon Familiar. Summon Steed. Zone of Demonic Protection to protect from demonic attack. Level 2 includes Stop Demonic Instability to beef up summoned demons. Summon Energy, which can increase the wizard's magic points by 2d6. Summon Lesser Demons. Summon Magical Aid, allowing another spell to be cast immediately, even if not known to the wizards. Zone of Demon Nullification, destroying demons that attempt to assault it. At level 3 we have Dispel Demon Horde, allowing a whole unit of demons to be sent back to the Nether Realm. Spread Insanity, forcing panic tests to every unit within 12 inches. Summon Demon Horde. Summon Great Power, increasing all of his characteristics by 1. And level 4, Dispel Greater Demon. Summon Greater Demon. Summon Total Power, increasing the wizard's characteristics by 2. Demonic Portal, allowing uncontrolled access to the demonic realm. Elemental Spells. Elementalists are highly venerated spellcasters, as they can bolster troops therewith and hinder those they stand against. Level 1 Spells. Assault of Stone causes D3 Strength 4 hits. Blinding Flash prevent all models within 6 inches from acting in the following turn. Breathe Underwater, preventing the effects of airborne gases or poisons and allowing some interesting movement by the wizard, such as through vacuums. Cloud of Smoke, reducing enemy movement rate and preventing archers from firing. Hand of Fire, increasing the strength of hand-to-hand combat attacks. Hide. Magic Light. Walk on Water. Ward of Arrows, causing friendly troops to receive less damage from missile fire. At level 2 we have Cause Fire, Cause Rain, Clap of Thunder, which causes panic tests in stupid creatures and low intelligence individuals. Extinguish Fire, Move Object, Part Water, Resist Fire, Winds of Magic, preventing the enemy from firing missiles. Wither Vegetation, to get rid of woods and hedges. Level 3, Banish Elemental, Become Ethereal. Breathe Fire, causing 2d6, Strength 4 hits at 12 inches. Create Quicksand, another one of those Summon Bog type spells. Crumble Stone, to destroy structures. Dust Storm, creating the effect of difficult terrain at a specified location. Foul Air, forcing Strength 3 hits in a zone. Storm of Magic, causing all kinds of mischief. Level 4, Animate Water, Dispel Elements, Hedge of Thorns, Summon Elemental Horde, Summon Swarm, Tempest of Magic, forcing aerial troops from the battlefield, slowing units to a halt, and causes all wizards to take a magical saving throw or lose d6 magic points, plus ceasing all missile fire and combat for a turn. Tunnel Through Stone, Wall Shaker, to level buildings, constructions, chariots, and war engines. Illusionist Spells. The Illusionist is a cunning master of the occultic practices, ensuring his allies gain every advantage on the battlefield through psychological and mysterious ways. Level 1. Assume Illusionary Appearance. Bewilder Foe, causing half movement of a foe. Camouflage Illusion, reducing to hit rolls. Clone Image, which splits the caster into several versions of himself, each one able to move independently. Create Illusionary Hero. At level 2, Banish Illusion, Confound Foe, Illusion of Buildings, Illusion of Woods, Ghostly Appearance, causing the wizard to emit the same psychological reactions as the undead. Hallucinate, forcing psychology tests. Level 3, Illusion of Enemy, creating a unit of 20 humanoids, 10 undead, or a single creature or lesser demon. Illusion of Mighty Appearance, causing the caster to turn into any creature. Universal Confusion, reducing movement by half and reducing to hit rolls by 1 in both combat and ranged attack. Vanish, allowing the caster to disappear and reappear in the next turn up to 24 inches away from his starting location. Level 4, Destroy Illusions, Illusion of Army, creates 2d6 units, each of humanoid or undead troops as appropriate. Illusion of Darkness, Teleport, with a rather random range of 100 miles. Necromantic Spells. Necromancers are some of the most feared spellcasters. Their dabbling in the dark arts makes them dangerous and unstable. Level 1 spells include Destroy Undead, Hand of Death, causing a wound to its target. Summon Undead Champion within 3 inches of the caster. Summon skeletons within 3 inches of the caster. D6 skeletons or D3 skeleton horsemen for every 3 magic points used. Zone of Life, giving protection from the undead. Level 2, Control Undead. Extend control, allowing the control of undead at greater distances. Hand of Dust, causing D6 wounds. Stop instability. Summon Undead Hero. Level 3 spells, Annihilate Undead. Life in Death, allowing the caster to transfer his consciousness into any other creature during the next 2d6 turns if he is to die, although his spirit must travel to the host from his corpse at 6 inches per turn. Raise Dead, allowing the summoning of 6d6 skeletons, 6d6 zombies, 3d6 ghouls or d6 mummies. Summon Skeleton Horde, creating 6d6 skeletons or 3d6 skeleton horsemen. Level 4, Curse of Undeath, causing an enemy to lose a point of strength every turn until their strength reaches 0, at which time they become a minion of the undead. Summon Undead Hero. Total Control, allowing the control of undead across the whole battlefield. Wind of Death causes 1 strength 3 hit to every living creature on the battlefield. Magic items. Enchanted armour, magic items and weapons are an ever-present theme in fantasy, and an important element in the magical armoury of our heroes and wizards. In the Warhammer world, magic actually works, and enchanted weapons of extreme potency are not uncommon. Some magic blades are so powerful that their wielders can be considered to be little less than one-man armies. Wizards may make use of other special items too, either to aid their conjuration or to offer them the protection they lack from armour. In competition and friendly games, a side may spend some of its points on magic. Points spent on equipping character models with magic must come from the army's character points allocation. Points spent on equipping rank-and-file troops with magic must come from the army's rank-and-file points allocation. Points for a magic army standard may come from either. The maximum number of points available for magic items in competition games is given in Warhammer armies. Items must be selected before the game and noted down so the GM is aware who has what. The rules pertaining to magic items in Warhammer Fantasy Battle are adapted from those used in Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. And many of the items detailed in the role-playing game have not been considered appropriate for inclusion in a competitive wargame. Gamers who wish to make full use of the Warhammer Fantasy role-play material are welcome to adopt or adapt any magic items for use in their own games. However, only items described in this section are eligible for inclusion in competition games. Next, we cover magical weapons and their common characteristics. This is followed by their abilities and the costs of them, including freeze, savagery, might, immunity, piercing, double damage, magical parasitism, sanctity, sleep, swiftness, ferocity, strength, resilience, impunity, leadership, will, cool, flame, degeneration, mighty strike, flight, animation, magical destruction, magical absorption, steal, enfeeble, weaken, slacken, intelligence, breathe, and non-flammability. Missile weapons can be magical too, and can have true flight, sure flight, piercing, enchantment, hail, potency, and far flight. Magic rings can store a single spell of a set level for the relevant cost. Magical armour can give +1, +2, +3 saving throw, whilst mithril armour confers a +1 saving throw as well as a basic saving throw. Magic standards are split into unit standards, which include the Battle Banner, Icon of Divine Wrath, Hellfire Banner, and War Banner. Army standards can be the Arcane Standard, Bane Banner, or Amuletic Standard. Let's talk briefly about Dispel Magic. You may dispel the abilities of a standard, thus turning it into an ordinary non-magical standard. In the case of the Army Standard, a random ability is destroyed. If a standard includes the Protective Magic ability, a magic saving throw of 10 is allowed. Notably, if a magic standard is captured, it loses its magical power, as a standard will never work for its enemy. We also have magical musical instruments, including Doom Sounder, Battle Call, Call of Valor, and Battle Rage. A magical instrument does not need to be carried by a character model. When using Warhammer armies, points for a unit's instruments come from the army's rank and file allocation. Individual non-champion character models pay for magical musical instruments out of the character model's allotment. So that's it for today. We learnt all about the esoteric powers of the occult and how to employ it in battle through savvy use of mages, sorcerers and wizards, how to use illusions in cunning ploys, smite foes with mighty battle magic, and even summon the dead. Plus, we delved into magic items and their uses. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did researching and rereading my battered old copy of Warhammer Fantasy Battle. Anyways, thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.